everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this reading. We will see what transformations and changes are coming into your life here. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you choose this reading, it is going to be valid. So this here is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not sure how to engage it, you can see the video in the ribbon above and it will walk you through it. Once you've made your choice, the reading for you is in the timestamps in the description box and the comment below. So whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi Pile 1, welcome to Eternal Realms and welcome to your reading. So let's take a look at what is transforming in your life right now, what changes are you creating and what other changes are coming in. We'll see what we get here. Let's see. So the first card we have is Oppression, or the Ten of Wands, and we have Saturn in Sagittarius. Then we have the King of Wands, very fiery. We also have the King of Pentacles, or the King of Discs in this one, Earth and Fire. We have Virtue, or Three of Wands with Sun in Aries. And we have the Knight of Swords, Air and Air. Wow, okay, so first of all, there's a lot of activity and dynamism that is going to come through. But I feel that you can be very stable throughout this. There can be some planning and thought processes that you are going through at this time. Perhaps some ideas are running through, some things that you've already begun executing, some strategies that you could be coming up with. We have two kings here, so you can talk about some authority figures also being playing a very important role in your life. For example, they could be strategizing and giving you direction or setting some bigger goals and perhaps redirecting you in a way that would be promising for future growth and personal, exploration. For example, it could be a new challenge for you. You're not yet an expert in this field, but this whole discovery and experimentation is very exciting for you, or will be very exciting for you here. In some cases, this can even indicate that you're becoming free of some sort of oppression, some pressure. It can feel as though someone is watching over you, that makes you uncomfortable in a way. Again, in some cases, it can be your own parent figures and you are leaving your house because you have a new place to be, some new job that you got. So the release from the supervision is the freedom bit where you can experiment and explore what you want to be doing. And the same applies for even leader figures like your boss at work, or even some mentors if you're still in college or school. And this can kind of see you looking into different opportunities. The Three of Wands says that you're making applications, doing some interviews, passing along some emails, and getting some sort of positive communication as a result of your initiatives that opens up new doors and opportunities, which signifies a release from a previous way of being. Anything that has become too stagnant is being shaken up here. Okay, so lots of freedom, lots of curiosity, and good vibes. The Virtue card is especially sticking out to me because it indicates opportunities that have been coming through from a very long time, but were not able to, either because of some blocks, or it was just not the right timing. Perhaps everything was not yet aligned properly, or for example, the finances are not set yet. So even if you have a letter of acceptance, you might not have been able to go, and so on. Whatever the specific case for you, it shows some sort of breakthrough, some positive news comes in and sets you free, all right? So that's a recurring theme that I'm seeing, regardless of what area of life you are most concerned with at this time. Okay, then we have Solar Zenith. I love this card very much. And we also have the Cell. Very nice, very nice. So this is your individual uniqueness, your creative spark and spirit that is coming out front and center. You're expressing yourself very, very clearly. and confidently as well. Solar zenith is like not being afraid to stand out. Some of you can be wanting to take up your own business, for example, and you might have to think about a lot of things. You have to collect some information, you have to contact people, you have to know of what the people want, and also it's a lot of responsibility that you take onto yourself, right? But the process itself is a lot of fun, and you're having a lot of a sense of community that is building along the way as well. Along with that, you're also recognizing your own worth. The cell is identifying itself as a cell, like this is me, this is who I am. This is the beginning of a whole story. It's not yet formed, it's the seed, it's the spark. But I know that this is the spark. Otherwise, it can't be formed into, a distinguishable thing. So once you know that, you can take it forward into something a lot more magnanimous, depending on what exactly you're trying to create. Some of you, it can be about being the boss of you, so having your own company, having your own people that you can work with, collaborations, things like that. But yes, the cost would be that you have a lot of responsibility on you. But again, if you're so passionate about something, it doesn't matter. This is a responsibility you're willing to take for the sake of the greater expansion, right? So in that way, the oppression turns itself into a more positive force, which indicates that you have so much strength that you can take on so many different projects. And while it is still exhausting, we can't diminish that bit. While it is still exhausting, you're enjoying it anyway. You're seeing promising results. You're seeing some steps, some milestones getting covered, and you can kind of foresee how things would fall if you take certain steps, okay? You're being very intelligent through all of this. But definitely with the two kings and all of these wands, swords focus, all of this is talking about pushing outward. This is not about internal changes, okay? It's not about personality shifts, attitude changes and all of that. I feel either you have done this already or you don't need to work on that at the moment. But all of this, the transformations coming through, is all from the external, okay? You're pushing outward. Things are coming from the outward, but you are responding to those external stimulus, and you're taking action, reactions, responses, you're collecting, you're acquiring, you're giving. All of these things which are completely outside of you, dealing with the outside world here, okay? Okay, those of you struggling with ongoing health concerns as well can be seeing an improve in your vitality and your stability as well. The Three of Wands basically says this shows promise, okay? We have your past supports your future with card number 11. 11 is all about go ahead. And past supports your future is use the experiences that you have learned so far. Please don't think that they have been a waste in any way or that they're not aligned with your future in any way, because even though it doesn't really make sense at this time, it is still supporting you. But like I said, you might have already worked on personal attitudes, your perceptions, and the inner world topics already. Hence, it is supporting you to create this external change. So be grateful for everything that you have done before, and now transform that and apply that in the external perspective, okay? And it's very supportive, it's very aligned, so don't worry about how exactly it is going to do the support. It will, some way, it's just going to. We have prosperity sisters, our happiness and joy. Yes, definitely a lot more fulfillment and satisfaction with where you are headed in life. This can be, of course, career context, but in general, solar zenith can indicate your ambitions in life, your goals in life. For example, if your goal is to build a house for yourself where you can call it your sanctuary, where you can feel at peace and you can experience joy and independence, then so be it. There are significant steps forward, or you're making a very solid plan as to how you can achieve those goals, okay? If it is to travel the world, then so be it. What do you need to save? How much do you need to make? Can you make your job flexible? Is there a different job that you can do that already offers you that flexibility, right? There are a couple of steps that need to come beforehand, but you're so focused on that end goal. And I'm looking at the lion's eyes over here. It's just so gripping. And also this third eye being activated with the King of Cups, the sun being present here. It's like your focus is like laser, Okay, what you want, you will achieve. What you desire will be yours. It's that kind of fire that's coming through. And once again, this is something that has happened already. This here is the external manifestation that you will see. Now, the prosperity sisters, happiness and joy indicates that you're very fulfilled with everywhere that you're going. You have a great amount of support. There is a small group of people who are your closest tribe, who will be there with you. They are seeing you as you have gone through your transformations. They're more in your intimate circle, so they've seen when you didn't have much, and they saw you transform internally. They see you grow, and they're going to be by your side as you keep growing even more. It's almost as if they can give you this reading. Okay, this is that kind of close group who can see that yes, you've completed that, you've dealt with that, you can deal with the future, you got this, don't worry. Okay, this really feels like a cheerleading type of vibe. Then we have, wow, we have the keyword right here, success in transformation. Yes, so again, whatever it is that you want to transform in your life, when you wish that you could be happier or be financially well off or have a more stable foundation for your family, feel secure and happy and joyous in your life, revive passion, have more hobbies, expand your network, whatever the case is. It can even be multiple things, because again, we saw the 10 of Wands, right? So it indicates that you have the financial thing coming through, the career stuff coming through, the people coming in, the happiness and the joy, everything, right there. It's like 10 types of things. Whatever those things are for you, it indicates that you're transforming it by taking these small little steps, by being focused on your vision. Okay, vision is super important. By being focused on that, you are gathering support. You have gathered support, and you will continue to do so, and successfully transform your circumstances from oppression to complete freedom and success. Okay, give it time. With the King of Pentacles, things move along bit by bit, but the King of Wands is like ultra fast. So is the Knight of Swords. So even if it's technically, a little bit of a long-term situation or ambition, things might have been building up from in the background for quite some time. The breakthrough itself is quite fast. The action itself is quite fast. Once you take initiative, it's sort of like a train that's already out of the station. It's just gonna keep going, right? Once the flight takes off, it just takes off. You're just gonna go for the next destination, the next stop. You can't just stop mid-air or mid-track, right? So it's sort of that autopilot mode that I'm getting, that kind of keeps you going. And in the middle of the journey, you might be like, whoa, okay, have I taken on too much? Or, can I handle all of this? Am I going to be successful? What if something does not work? And yes, there can be some, these types of self-pressure that you might be compelled to put on yourself. But once again, remind yourself that you have done a lot already, and you are adept at learning as you go. Because again, don't remove your focus, okay? Focus, 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 vision, 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 okay? You can handle everything that's coming in, and you are not alone. All right, it's not just you in that train. And you're not the only pilot there. You have a co-pilot. You have some people around you that are supportive. So talk it out. Don't keep it in. Don't stifle yourself. The 10 of Wands is like classic, right? It can signify burnout if you don't delegate, if you don't take it out of you, if you try to stifle it in and take it all on yourself. Then it gets difficult, because the heaviness kind of mounts, and it feels even more as though it's only me that is in charge. That's the shadow message of the Kings here. Okay, it's only me who can do it. It's only me who can, manage this. No one else can help me out. There is no one there for me. That's the that's the shadow situation here. So don't fall into that trap. I don't think you will be tempted to stay there in any way, because the urge and the desire for freedom and the achievement of your goals is just that strong. Okay, so yes, you will succeed no matter what. Just, yes, have faith in that. Okay, then we have a cardinal sign. I mentioned that first because so much Aries went on with Capricorn though. Okay, Capricorn is the sign of legacy. It's about long-term stability, steady progress, being persevering and resilient, keeping your eye on the goal and going through everything. It's as though no hurdle stops them. If they want to care for someone, they will care for them. Okay, if they're going to be determined about something, they're just going to be determined. Okay, that's that. So that kind of stability while you are moving is something that is being showcased in the way you conduct life, basically. Then we have Aries again, okay, cardinal sign, 2 cardinal signs, yes, outward action, very masculine focus coming through here. Masculine energies is all about utilizing your potential and the action that we need to take regarding that potential as well. It's so interesting that we have masculine energies, and the cell it's just the beginning, right? So it contains so much potential. I think you're expressing that potential, or you're figuring out, how can I better express myself? I know that this is what I'm capable of. So what can I do next? What can I do now that can help me express that higher version of myself? So that I can experience the best in life and help the people that I care about, the communities that I care about as well, to experience the best versions that I can offer for them. So there is, with like kingly duties, when we have the king cards, there is a component of what you can do for others as well. Kings are not selfish. The queens are not selfish. They're all about, I know who I am, I know what I have, and I know what I can offer because I know I'm damn good at this. Okay, there is that level of confidence in the self. Then it kind of oozes outward. There is radiance when it comes to the feminine archetypes, and we have action when it comes to the king, the masculine archetypes here. Okay, you are receiving some blessings and support though along the way, so it'll keep you going. Some people can be traveling, or again, it might be your wish to travel around the world, wherever you stay, perhaps going to different locations, some famous spots, perhaps air travel, for example, and you might have been gathering resources. You could have worked really hard in the past, and in order to acquire these resources, and you see that you have enough now, and you can go for that ideal vacation with the people that you care about. Okay, that's another side message. Let's see what else we have. For pile 1, please, what is transforming in pile 1's lives? We have the first house, Venus and Pisces. Okay, so yes, the way that you love yourself is transforming. You are, again, this compassion, empathy, selflessness, being of service, loving one another, being connected with your spiritual essence, upgrading yourself. All of these things are things that are supporting you along this journey. We can't really separate the internal from the external world, right? So when I say that it's mostly external, it doesn't mean that the internal has just stopped. That's not what we're saying. Same goes with the feminine and the masculine energies. You can't really pull them apart. They're literally one half of one another. The masculine has feminine and the feminine has masculine as well. So it's very nice reminder here that I see this feminine focus through the astro dice. It says that the person that you are, the qualities and the skills that you have, that is creating this transformation. That is experiencing growth and love and abundance through these transformations, these external events that are happening. You have more heightened sense of self-worth. You're finding yourself very charismatic and beautiful. You're discovering all these latent talents as well. For some of you, if you've not explored your own self very much, and you can still see the natural talents evolving and coming out through you. There is that radiance and the glow. You might find yourself to be naturally magnetic here, building a lot of connections along the way. Venus rules our financial health as well, and also just our joy and bliss in life, the support that we get. So it's indicating that you have your soulmates and your soul friends to support you, whether they are incarnated here or not. Your soul is as well guiding you along this journey. So like I said, there might be fear once in a while, or you might feel as though you've taken on a little bit too much and not really sure if you can keep up with it. But keep going, keep your eyes on the prize, keep your eyes on the goals, and that itself is going to tell you if something is not aligned. You can drop those things, okay? That's completely okay along the journey. Drop the things that don't align with your goals. That's called decluttering, and that comes from a clear mind, a clear heart, and clear ambition here. So yes, okay, that's what I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading and welcome to Eternal Realms. We'll see what's transforming in your life at this time. We can look at the internal transformation and the external changes as well. Let's see what we get. So we have the Three of Swords coming up first with Saturn in Libra, indicating sorrow. We have the Five of Swords with Venus in Aquarius, signifying defeat. And we have the Eight of Cups, renounce Saturn in Pisces, which is where Saturn is at this time. If you're watching when I post it, it'll be here in Pisces till quite some years, 3 years to be exact. So yeah, this is any time within the 2 years or 2.5 years that you watch the reading. Okay, we have the Journey or the Fool, symbolizing the air element. And we have altruism, Moon in Taurus with Six of Pentacles. Yes, okay. So this is a very clear storyline of experiencing heartbreak, difficulties, and stuck situations, not knowing how to get out of them. Always some external turbulence, or some sort of, third-party interferences being a part of your life, and again feeling stuck, getting headaches, and not knowing how to deal with things and feel happy about life in general, feeling stuck in every direction. That's the first phase. Then the next phase is to move on from those things, emotionally renouncing. Renouncing is much larger than just moving on. Okay, moving on is, yes, you can leave that situation behind, you can leave certain people behind, but if you still carry a fragment of that emotion or that attachment to a situation, you've not yet renounced that event. So this can be a trauma from way back, which keeps reenacting. For example, we have a fear that is introduced at a time of trauma, okay? And we tend to incorporate that because traumas are very shocking, and our mind wants to preserve us. It wants to keep us sane, right? So it tries to figure out different coping mechanisms through which we can combat the fear right then and right there. It's not always the healthiest, but it is something that it needs to do for the body, for the mind to stay intact and stay sane to whatever extent that it can manage for us. But the problem is when it becomes subconscious, when it kind of is that automatic response, right? So usually it is very subconscious, happens in the back of our mind, and we don't quite realize the many ways that we find ourselves coping with a difficult situation. So renounce here indicates that you are working through dissolving, not necessarily actively, okay? Sometimes that healing is not active for some people. But if you do it actively, of course, you can move on from certain things much faster, much more smoothly. You can find out more consciously as to how your mind reacts. And then you can, for the future circumstances, you can guard yourself much better so that you don't rack up on these subconscious traumatic coping mechanisms or dependencies along the way. Okay, but that aside, you are working on releasing those hurts. You're not hurt by those things anymore. You're not feeling frustrated by those situations anymore. You have a memory of something happening, but you're not reacting to those old stimuli anymore. Hence, you begin this brand new journey with the Fool here of empowerment. This is you experiencing your individuality, a new life, a fresh new slate, a release from everything that has been holding you back. When we have the air element, it means you can fly. Flying is like the highest freedom that we can imagine here, right? So this indicates that you're removing emotional, subconscious baggage. Mentally, you're not thinking about that anymore, or it's not relevant to you anymore because you're in a completely new space. And this new space is full of financial health and well-being, your physical health and well-being, and balance in all areas of life. Whatever you invest into your life and your journey, you also get back. So you help another person, you get help back. You exchange services, collaboration, cooperation. This can be a healing journey that you have gone through, and by this learning procedure, you know how to help other people who are in need as well. So you are putting yourself out there, starting fresh, new, from a clean slate, and you're like, you know what, I know how to do this, so I'm going to help other people who struggle with this so that they don't have to go through this, or even if they have gone through it, they can find themselves feeling light, carefree, and undefeated, liberated no matter what. Okay, so this is a huge service and a huge contribution that you're about to embark upon. If you've not gone through a healing journey and this is still like very painful, just know that you're going to let go of those things. That's like very loud and clear. You're letting go of difficulties and sorrows and defeats, things that have not worked out. For example, it can be as small as losing in a competition and feeling less than capable or less worthy of yourself, right? But you're letting go of that behavioral pattern that competition is how reality is, because honestly there's like a lot for everyone. So what if you won competition like a million years ago? You can still do something else. You have a different talent and that was not tested, or that was not even a part of the competition. So that's a different mentality that we are conditioned to believe that that's how it is all the time, but honestly it's really about your skill. It's about your capability, and that's the point of being unique, right? This is something I don't understand about this type of culture, the competition culture, is that on one hand you're like, you have to be original, be unique, be yourself, and blah blah blah, and on the other side it's like, if you don't compete according to the same broad criteria and band everyone together assuming that everyone's similar, and then we're going to establish who is the best of them all. What's the baseline here? If everyone is unique, then you're not even starting on a consistent foundation for any competition to take place anyway, right? And if there is a competition, it automatically negates the uniqueness that also is being preached. So it's sort of like topics and ideologies that just don't go well together, they just don't mesh. It's like, it's either this or that, right? Where are you headed with this? It's sort of that kind of ideology where on the one hand you might have learned that, hey, being independent is really good. Meanwhile, some other part of the world or a different time of your life, you learn that teamwork and cooperation is the best way to go, and you're like, okay, so which is it? How is it supposed to operate here? And because of this contrast, we might not enact it very loudly in the outside world, but internally it can create some sort of competition. In the sense, we don't know how much of ourselves to share with one another, how much openness to have, even with our own feelings. What can we control? What can we not? What can we understand? And what are we in charge of? It can be so many of these little knickknacks that can be just so confusing at times. Okay, and we don't generally think about it so nitpickily, but over here I'm telling all of these things to you because there are some defeating thought patterns or some defeatist conditioning that has happened either from like childhood, or your culture has that type of tendency, or just learned along your life journey, but it was based on false beliefs or false foundations, and those things are transforming at this time, especially with like the eclipses. And again, this is especially if you're watching at this time, but even if not, whatever the next eclipse is for you, that can be quite transformative. Okay, something I'm hearing, especially if it's a lunar eclipse. So whatever the next lunar eclipse is for you, that's very important. And with Saturn playing such a big role, it indicates letting go of karmic ties. You know, you're done with that. You're done with, giving back to others because you owe them something, or because you feel the need to give back a certain situation, getting yourself out of suppression and experiencing your own unique individuality. Okay, so the journey that is beginning here beyond this point is completely brand new to you. I don't think you've done this ever before, and it's a new facet of yourself that you're experiencing. Now, the Eight of Cups can indicate that there are a lot of things that are unknown or unclear still, because you're in the midst of that transition. Same with the Fool here. A lot is unknown, and this is where faith is loudest. Faith is the most important over here, okay? From a sense of hopelessness or defeatist attitude, you recognize the importance of faith, the importance of hope, and you know how to identify it in other people, and you can see how you enact hope and optimism within your life, even through the difficult circumstances. Otherwise, you would not have been able to go through it, right? You're out on the other side. That's happening. You would not be able to do that if not for hope in some part of your mind. So you're latching onto that, you're holding on to that, and you're nurturing that sense of optimism. And not only that, not only for yourself, but you're sharing that out with the world as well. It's such a wonderful gift. It's so good, really strong, loud, and clear, very nice. Also, the Fool has a pioneering energy. It's very original, so no one else can do what you can do. Read you this reminder. No one else can do what you do the way you do it. That is your superpower. Okay? Alright. We have the telescope coming through. Gonna go far and wide is something I hear. And we have optical doubles. See, this is like two different topics that just don't work together. Sometimes even in childhood itself, people are contradicting. Like, some people would say that this behavior is bad. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, that's the best behavior to have. Sharing is caring, and sharing is, being people-pleasing, or whatever the case is, right? There are a lot of contradicting opinions that we see, and sometimes we internalize those polar opposites in some way, or very separate ways of existing into us, because we have seen or experienced both sides of the story. How you balance these things, that's where your special talent is. Now, in the far future, we're talking about far future here, okay, with the optical doubles and the telescope. This is like zoom out of your current limitations and circumstances and change your perspective, because if you want to be in a parallel timeline, you can always shift, because that requires a shift in behavior, a shift in perspective, and that's it. Okay, when you see that you are not in a scarcity world, you're in an abundant world, you step into an abundant world. And that might mean that you let go of previous mindsets, subconscious programming, the ways of operation within a society, or whatever the case is for you, depending on, what the sorrow is exactly. The better you can understand what not to be and what to be. Yes? And this is going to help you in the longer run. Also, I'm hearing that you're being propelled for the long run, and whatever has happened in the past is helping you form the foundation to be that help, be the change that the world needs to see, right? The world needs to experience. Wow. And this can be in so many different ways. You could do Reiki, you could do chakra healing, you could do tarot reading, you can do some art, you can be a therapist. There are many ways that you can come about and share your knowledge and experiences and even expertise with one another. So whatever the choices you're making here, this is beginning a whole new chapter for you. And it's almost like a complete shift from the way of operation of before. And when I say a shift, I'm not going to say 180. Okay, it's not a flip. it is completely different. It's incomparable. I'm not going to give you, unnecessary, inflated sense of hope that there is an idealistic world out there or something. Every road and every career, every path, every relationship has its own challenges. So I'm not painting a very overly idealistic imagery here, but it's a question of what are you willing to deal with? What are you willing to go with? Okay, I did engineering. I don't want to deal with all of that. Those are the problems that I don't want to deal with. But tarot and astrology has its own set of issues, and the difference is that I don't mind dealing with these things. I'm okay with it. I'm actually not even bothered by those things, right? I'm happy with dealing with whatever comes, and that's the question we're talking about. Doing something that is right for you, or rather authentic to you, is what makes things okay, makes things less traumatic. That's what begins that healing procedure and makes you you. We have You Are Magic. Yes. Card number 1, this relates with the magician energy. This says you're very skilled. You can be a very good communicator. We talked about engineering, and that is even, a part of this card. Some technical skills you might have that can be very beneficial to you in the long run. Again, you can have multiple talents as well, maybe meshing those things together. What people might say don't fit well, you might have a different way of meshing those things, and therefore you create a unique product, or you create a unique sense of kind of operation, the way that you work, or the things that you deliver. No one else can, because they can't think like you. They can't deliver that information like you can. Then we have You Are Living Poetry. Yeah, it's sort of like you're enjoying the ebbs and the flows of life, or rather you're understanding why and how these things happen. The method to the madness within your own reality and your own life is something you're discovering. Once you know, you can't unknow. There is so much rise in self-love and respect here. It's a very sobering honor that I'm hearing. Sobering honor. I don't know if that even makes sense. I don't know, but sobriety is coming through. There's a sincerity that comes in. We feel very grounded and humbled by your experiences, but at the same time, you're feeling larger than life, so you can handle just about anything. You can deal with anything that comes through. You're not even afraid, okay? That's where the faith comes in. You have faith in yourself, you have faith in the journey you've led so far, and that you've come out to the other side, and you're also having faith in the bigger picture. Very strong stuff. We have Bravely Market Your Magic, which, yes, this can talk about your own business or some sort of service that you want to extend to others. And this is just showcasing what you are, and who you have become through life. What's your story? Where do you come from? What has your journey been? And what makes you appropriate for the position that you're either applying for, or the product you're trying to launch at again, whatever service it is that you're offering to humanity, the collective in general, whichever way that you again choose to. Yes, don't be shy to kind of showcase yourself. We have Scorpio coming through, a fixed water sign. I'm hearing Moon in Scorpio for some people. You could have that. Moon in Scorpio is quite intense, okay? And we have Cancer, which is a water cardinal sign, 2 water signs. Okay, so once again, the healing is very loud and clear. Transformation is signified by Scorpio here. So emotional healing, therapy, counseling, life coaching, even artistic expressions, or just being the best listener. It can be transforming your living circumstances as well, so that you can feel a lot more liberated. Some oppressions or difficulties in the home space as well can be going through some sort of transformation. Either you're leaving the space, or you're creating some sort of healing in the atmosphere there. Yes, and the conditioning you've experienced in the past as well, you're learning them for what they are. Denial does not work with Scorpio. It will just keep chasing you, and it will just keep bringing to your attention that, hey, there's something you've not seen. Here you go. This is the missing piece of the puzzle. This is why we're not successful. This is why we don't feel good about ourselves. And it's important to face it head on, because it's still a part of us. And the moment we look at it, we're like, oh, well, that's just not true. I'm not unworthy. I know that I can do this really well. And I know that I'm very skilled and talented, whatever the case is. Yes? And this transformation is extremely strong and powerful, comes from the deepest depths within you, and it propagates to, in a very esoteric sense, it kind of changes your vibration in a way. Okay, so perhaps the external changes will be a little bit at a delay. I'm getting like 3 months. 3 months for some reason. Okay, 3 months, but you can immediately feel this shift internally. Okay, let's see your astro dice. So pile 2, please, what's transforming? Venus in the 12th house in Leo. Yeah, relationship karma is done and dusted. You're not going back for the same type. You're not going to experience the same fate. You have, again, that rise in self-confidence. You know your worth. You know who you want in your life. And you're very confident in rejecting people that don't resonate with you. Blocking out drama, which is unnecessary. Not getting involved with the wrong type of people. And knowing the type, or you know, that you usually go for and what that usually gets you and so on. And what's better is that you're not interested. You know, you're honestly looking for something very different. One which is more stable, a lot more, you know, passionate or loyal as well. Leo is very loyal. Yes, you're going for something like that. 12th house talks about that unconscious belief system that is just automatically internalized at the time of a trauma or a sorrow. Again, it could have been a karmic incident, but again, you're healing through that and becoming a lot brighter. I'm also hearing that your soul is guiding you. It might be speaking to you through your dreams, visions, repeating numbers. There can be some sort of music that you hear, some art that you see that evokes some sort of message within you. And again, it's starting from the inside, but it has a very clear external implication as well down the line. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Welcome to Ethernal Realms. So let's get into what changes and transformations are taking place in your life. So let's see what's coming through for you. We have Queen of Wands, which is a combination of water and fire. We have the Two of Swords, Moon in Libra, or Peace. Okay, then we have the Happiness, Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces. We have Seven of Swords, Futility, Moon in Aquarius. Okay, let's keep these guys straight. Okay, and we have the Knight of Cups. You got 6 cards. I was trying to get you 5, but Knight of Cups is about the water suit and air. Knights are about action and pursuit. Meanwhile, the queens have a sense of emotional balance and maturity because they've completed certain types of milestones or understood certain context and concepts as well, because of which they are able to relax in almost any situation. And we have power coming through. 4 of Pentacles, Sun in Capricorn. Very interesting stuff, okay? So this is indicating that there is this intelligence kind of speaking to you here. And this can be in private moments. You're in an authority position. Some of you could have Leo placements. Because Queen of Wands is a fire sign related with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And the Knight of Cups as well is symbolizing the romantic side of Leo. So I don't know, that just came out really loud and clear. But we do have a lot of water elements as well. So Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio could be heavy for you as well. Okay, so the moon is coming up twice, and that is representing your emotional body. You're coming to a point of equilibrium in this transformation. And that has like an immediate effect on how fulfilled you feel in life in general. I think you're chasing more creative projects or learning to express yourself a lot more so that you know who you are and you respect your own power. You don't allow people who are depleting your energy into your space. You're very clear about what you're trying to create in your life, and you're very stable and steady regarding those things. So this can be coming around in a topic that you have been confused about or undecided yet, like the I don't know type of situations that you have going on. I think you're gaining a lot of perspective in this particular transformation, and that puts you in a very powerful position in terms of status, finances, and just the power that you feel within you. But also it brings you a sense of peace, stability, calm, and joy. Nine of Cups indicates that certain wishes are coming to fruition, and those wishes are very key in getting you out of a sticky situation, either it is mentally or emotionally or even physical circumstances. Now, the Seven of Swords indicates that there's a lot of emotions that you might be processing, okay? And thinking through your emotions can be very important in bringing this equilibrium about. And this is something you're doing in your private space. You might be thinking differently from the rest, or you're looking at how you can help the collective in your own unique individual way. And that requires you to think about things privately and then look at what is useful for the outside world, or it can be certain plans and strategies that you have about changing your job or shifting the company of people that you surround yourself with, or even changing certain habits that you have going on, but you might not have been sure about how you can do it, but now you're really thinking about it. Seven of Swords is really about strategy and clever planning. There is a lot of intelligence, and it's kind of up to you as to how you want to use that. Okay, now many of you could be performers in some way, actors, artists, designers. Also, I was getting something else. Healers, yes, healers as well could be possible here, or these are some things that you have a natural talent with, but you've never explored it as either a career option or even as a hobby. So you might be putting in some resources in that area to make it come to more expression. So you feel as though you're showcasing more of yourself. And whenever we do that, the importance of self-expression is that we can feel more like ourselves, right? When everyone is trying to go one way and we do something our own way, it feels like, yes, okay, this is me now. This is me. Okay, cool. And while it is still a little bit, scary, depending on the extent to which you're trying to go the other way, but, it might be scary that, we don't have the same level of social validation as we would if we did everything very traditional. It is still very empowering to do those things that we truly want to do. So this happiness is really speaking about what does your soul want? What do you want to create? And it's a very serious question when Jupiter is involved in the situation. So, we might frivolously in our everyday life be like, oh, I would like that, I want that, I would like to explore this, and blah, blah, blah. And then we forget about it just as soon as we say it. But Jupiter asks you, like, seriously, what would you like? The wishes can be here, we can make it happen. So what would you like? And that's where the indecision is like, I have no idea. I thought I wanted this, but maybe not that much. Maybe how about option number 2? Those types of hesitations and the back and forth can come across as a process of the transformation. Ultimately, where you're headed is a lot of stability, emotionally, physically, in your finances, in your career, and your vitality in general. If you've been having some mental issues or like just feeling a sense of dis-ease within the mind, that is also coming to equilibrium. So you are feeling very vital. I think you have a lot of inspiration that comes through you as well. So the clearer you listen to your intuition, the better you're able to navigate through all of these changes, okay? There is a whole mix of external things happening, but then you're also responding to it, and how you respond to it is going to determine how the change is happening, okay? Or when exactly you feel the sense of peace as well. So listen to your intuition. That's honestly the advice that Two of Swords offers. Stay in a sense of peace. Go where you find peace. Find people with whom you can be yourself, and that there is harmony and balance within the space. And that itself is such a big contributor to our clear intuition to follow through, to pass on to our conscious mind as well. Especially when we talk about these water placements, it's mostly emotional, and many times we just get swayed with the emotions and then we forget about it when the emotion goes away. But those feelings are very important in guiding us towards what makes sense to us, what is true joy and happiness, and what is a joy for right now, right? So a lot of consciousness coming through regarding your emotional body. All right, then we have the spiral. See, this is what I was saying. Like, there's a lot of growth. Now, it is going to be how you choose to perceive a situation or what direction you choose to follow that is going to determine how things turn out for you, okay? This is all about self-empowerment and willpower. So I can't really say that, everything's like rainbows and sunshine. It is going to depend on each one of us, and we have our own set of things that we're not very happy about within ourselves, and also things we're very proud of, right? So it's sort of like, how do you talk yourself through these types of situations? There can even be a choice that presents to you and you're like, okay, this is very interesting, but this is something I must do. So then what do I do here? If you try to battle with your logic or try to come up with an answer through logic, it might be a little bit more time taking or difficult to come to a very clear conclusion, because logic is one side of the coin, and we also need intuition and that emotion to be the other side as well. Okay, and the same thing I said about intelligence. Like, there are many people who are intelligent in the world, but then some of them choose to not use that for the greater good. They don't even use that for their own good, right? They try to manipulate, be very deceptive, and try to like skimp away with what can I get away with, those types of topics, right? That's one side of the story. And if that's the experience you're going for, then fine, that it's kind of your will. Again, we come back to, what do you want? What do you feel is going to bring you real joy? That's a very, very important question. Meanwhile, on the other side, you can use that same cleverness, the same strategic mind, and the same intelligence to do something completely different, to stand apart and showcase you in like full authenticity, unapologetically. That's kind of what the Queen of Wands also represents. This is who I am. If I'm flamboyant, so be it. If I'm dramatic, so be it. I like it. I am me, So I don't care about your viewpoint on this. This is what I will for myself. So I will. It's very clear. Then we have flight. Yes, there is very fast movement whenever you decide on a certain thing, even the choices that present themselves to you. It is going to be requiring you to take quick action or make quick decisions along the way. That can add to that feeling of, oh my God, what if I'm making the wrong choice? Or what if my strategy is not clear enough? Maybe the things I desire are not feasible enough. Yes, I do enjoy it, but is it possible? Is it financially viable? Again, whatever the case is here. But it's just going to go along very, very fast, these changes, okay? The resolution as well will come very fast. It'll all flow along very quickly. It's a fast transformation that takes you out of a rut. You get out of that indecisive space, and then you're immediately propelled into a type of future for yourself. And it's honestly up to you as to how you're going to carve it for yourself, okay? Then we have your soul shines. You see this again, like your intuition is going to be king. It honestly is, or queen, whatever gender you associate with, to your soul. So your soul shines is, how does it speak to you? It is speaking very loudly. If for some people, again, it comes through emotions, okay? I have my moon in Aquarius, so my soul generally talks to me through my thoughts. Like, I just have a thought. I can understand frequencies much better. I can understand someone else's thoughts much better, but I struggle a little bit with the emotional side of things. I have a problem with understanding, like, what do I actually want, at different times. So it kind of is going to depend whether you understand more of that thought way of speaking of the soul, or are you more of, I'll wait for dream symbolism to come through, or wait for number synchronicities or birds or other types of symbolism that's out there to come through and make their messages known to you. Or do you go with your feelings and your spiritual body as a gauge? Regardless of how you're doing this, the soul is speaking in numerous ways to get your attention, to help you make the right choice. So that's why I emphasized on the importance of being in that state of peace and happiness as best that you can during any of the changes. All right. Then we have light in the unexpected. This corresponds with the tower energy, so there can be a sudden realization, a sudden change that happens here. It's a spark that you can't deny, okay? And like I said, with the flight as well, it's like really fast taking off. There can, I'm not seeing any of the travel cards here, so I'm gonna say that it's more of an internal type of transition that you're going through, but it happens very quickly. If you're identifying with, staying in that question mark type of phase right now, then this light in the unexpected is going to give you the necessary information that is going to take you either here or there, depending again on what you want. Like, it can be a huge opportunity that comes in, but we can always be like, no, I'm not ready for that, and we can choose to stay where we are or go to another direction which is not in the way of the opportunity being presented. Meanwhile, we always have the choice of, I know it's huge and I know it's scary, but I would still like to explore that. And it honestly depends on what you want for yourself. Again, we come back to that, right? We have fierce serenity, another Leo card, but also can be Aries and Sagittarius. Some fire placements going through. If you are not a fire sign, someone else around you can be. And they can be very strong mentor. They can perhaps be very motivational, giving you a lot of inspiration, different ideas, and support in whichever way that you need. So the fierce serenity indicates that be very strong in what you are going for, the ambition and the loyalty that you need to make something happen. Okay, be very strong in your own self and who you are, but be very serene in how you approach things. Okay, so being ambitious does not mean you're going to slash at every wall and destroy everything on the way, right? We don't need to go through the destructive route. We can always be like, oh, okay, that's not for me. I'm going to change direction and I'm going to go that way. It's sort of like, there's a wall in between you and your goals. There is also a door up ahead. But if you're too focused on something such that you're not calm anymore, you're not observant anymore, then you won't notice the door that is right next to it. You will see only what's in front of you, and that's a wall, right? That's what I mean by changing your perspective. If you zoom out a little bit, even if you're standing in the same place, if you zoom out, look around, turn your head to the left and the right, you'll see that there is a door. And you're like, okay, I don't need to tear down the wall. I can just walk through the door, right? So that's what I mean. Be very fierce in what you want to achieve, but serene in the way you approach it. All right? But stay confident in your own capabilities. There's a lot that can be done here. The leaps and bounds, right? Leaps and bounds that's coming through that will help you find a lot of stability and security in your life. We have Cancer, cardinal water sign. This is really good because it corresponds to the home and family environment. And again, through your emotions, you can get some sort of indicators about what feels right to you, what makes sense for you moving forward. And Cancerians are very protective of everything and everyone that they love. Okay, they're very loyal as well. They're like very clean-hearted, and emotional body is just very strong. Your empathy, compassion, sympathies, and all of that, that's just like at an all-time high. So during these changes, you will notice that there's a spurt of emotions that come through, and they can be centered around what will my family think, or how will my own home environment change? Can I support a family through this venture that I am feeling inclined towards? Is this truly what my heart is saying? Topics like that, okay? But it's all leading towards a sort of expansion. Okay, all right. Then we have Leo with a fixed fire sign. We saw Leo a lot, so we have that once again being repeated. Water sign, fire sign, that's really loud and clear. There is a simultaneous internal development and external action. With Leo here, this can relate to creativity, but also can be about children. Like you think that children would make you very happy, but you're not yet sure if you're ready for the situation. So there can be sort of this trigger that happens with the light and the unexpected, that someone else is saying that, okay, you got to make kids by like 2 years or something, or like 1 year, or it can even be that you want to secure your finances, make sure you have enough investments and that you can support another individual, right? So children can be a part of this, creative self-expression, hobbies, and again, identity. How do you showcase yourself in the world? It's about confidence and charisma as well, warmth, generosity, everything. Your love life can be a part of this. For example, you can be thinking about whether someone resonates with you. You might have a feeling that this is the one, but then are you sure it's the one? Like, how would your family receive them? Do you connect on every level? Is there an emotional compatibility? Also a mental one. If there is not, how can you learn to work around it? How can you communicate with one another differently? Perhaps the way you understand each other is just completely different compared to, the people we see in the world. So we can't really take Instagram as a template, for example, right? That's not really the hashtag couple goals. You're doing it your own way, you're working in your own style, so you have to see what works for you in your specific case. Okay, it's highly individualized, all these changes that are coming through, but it has a very immediate impact on the external reality. Okay, so let's see what else we have for pile 3, please. What transformations are coming in? What's happening? Pluto, Gemini, and the 7th house. Yes, see partnerships, the way that you relate with one another, collaborations with one another as well. Perhaps there is a teamwork that is being affected by this. You can be partnering up with someone, and you have to collaborate with someone with whom you either are not familiar with, or you just don't know if you match in terms of what you do or how you approach different topics. So you have to look at things from the other person's perspective before, emphasizing on your own choice. And that can develop your managerial style or just the teamwork orientation here, different modes of communication, different ways of understanding different people, which also has an impact on the type of people that you do attract as your closest friends, as your romantic relationships as well. You can discover things that you don't particularly enjoy, and that makes it even more clear for you as to what you do need in any relationship, okay? Whether it is platonic or not. Also, I'm seeing that your thought process, your mindset towards what other people mean to you, that is going to change. For example, if you have a thought that nobody is helping or nobody is helpful, then this brings about the transformation that people can be helpful. Perhaps we ask them in this way, or so what if other people are not helping? I can brainstorm, and then I can approach people with some more information coming through from my side, right? So I will help you help me, that kind of dynamic. Pluto brings about transformation. It's all about the death and rebirth topic, especially with the Scorpio eclipse, if you're watching this around the time that I'm posting. So this is a very interesting one to come up. Changes in your relationship life. If you already have a partner, this can indicate that you're reigniting passions, and you're bringing a lot of joy and happiness. There's more of a heart-to-heart connection. Perhaps there were a lot of practical and logical things in the way that you were dealing with so far, but now there is more of that intimacy and vulnerability that is growing with whoever you're connecting with here. And this goes for even the closest friends, okay? Like if you've lost touch with your friends with whom you've been, like, let's say childhood friends or like high school friends or something, now you can get back in touch and catch up properly. And this means like having deep conversations with them as well about various topics. 7th house is also the types of clients you attract, so the same things apply there. And it also represents how other people are seeing you. They can see that you are changing and that your mindset is shifting and that the way that you are seeing the world is very different. And they're intrigued about the person that you're becoming. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what changes and transformations are coming into your life at this time. At the time that I'm posting this reading, we have a lot of eclipse energies going on. On the 5th of May, we had a Scorpio lunar eclipse, And 5 is the month number, and 5 is the date as well, and the degree in which The eclipse is happening is 14, 1 plus 4, 5. So we have a lot of transformations in the air. And Scorpio is related with transformation itself. So let's see what's coming through for you. We have the Six of Pentacles, Moon in Taurus. This is still a timeless reading, by the way, just to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting the reading. You can still watch this whenever you want. I'm just saying at the time that the video is created, it contains the energy of change. So we're likely to see those types of themes here. Then we have the Fool, signifying the journey and air element. We have the World with Saturn representing earth element, air and earth. That's very interesting. We have Apathy, Four of Cups, Moon in Cancer. This would be the only deck where I've seen the Four of Cups being represented quite well, honestly. And we have the Tower with Martian energy. I also remember Uranus with Tower, but let's go with Mars in this case. Okay, so a lot of major arcana coming through, right? 3 out of 5. So big changes coming through whenever we have the Tower. There can be some surprises that come your way, sudden realizations that come in that force some type of action. Some willpower needs to come through over here regarding something that you have been desiring for your sense of emotional stability. Although I will say that there are a lot of external things that are coming through to trigger this type of internal change, okay? Now the Six of Pentacles, let's start from the start. The Six of Pentacles indicates that there is a harmonious give and take between your financial gains and the expenditures you have. Also, you're evaluating your priorities and values in life and seeing which is unnecessary, or where have you been superfluously just expending your energy and time and money, resources, but you've not been getting much back. This can even be like advertising streams, or, you know, communicating with certain groups of people with whom you don't resonate with anymore, but you're just tagging along because, you know, you just have the force of habit and things like that. So you're evaluating those things and trying to understand what exactly brings you comfort and joy. You're prioritizing very specifically as to what you truly want in today, in right now, in your present moment, and creating a more mindful space for yourself. You can also be getting more clients around this time if you have a business. Even if you have a regular job, this can indicate some type of bonus coming through, or some additional work that comes in, new projects that come in that make you feel as though you are getting the exact amount in compensation for your efforts and for your skills as well. So it leaves you feeling very satisfied. Now this is a brand new journey, and this can happen as a result of you graduating from a course, a college, getting some sort of degree, or traveling someplace really far, and you're beginning yourself or your career path, your home and living situation in a new place. You're starting from the start, but you're beginning from a place of experience. So it's not really a completely new standpoint, but this brings you a lot of benefits in terms of your finances. Okay, so yes, you finish up your university and now you're looking for jobs. It is likely you will get a job, and that completely shifts the way that you live. Perhaps you have to change how much time you spend at home, or your schedule is completely shifting. Perhaps you like being at home, but with the Four of Cups, it indicates that you might have to work somewhere else, even if you would prefer to work from home, right? Something like that is there. A little bit of a cost comes in here, but generally there's a lot of upliftment and leveling up in life. I see both of these bees having the same posture. Both of them are like soaring up in the right direction, right where they are going, and it represents the air element, which indicates you might have to travel someplace, and the earth element here indicates you're setting down roots in some new place. Finishing up this certain chapter that you're in, whether it is, internal healing that you're doing, or some physical course that you are dealing with. As you complete this chapter, you feel refreshed and renewed. You feel a lot more stable in your emotional body. You are very clear about what you want from life, and you're not afraid to go after those things. There is a sense of, I'm fueled by passion. I'm fueled with this willpower, and I will make this happen. But at the same time, all right, we're going to get there, but let's go at it bit by bit. Go at it slow by slow. Let's channel this fuel instead of, fireworks and then done. Poof, nothing. Right? Saturn Saturn is sort of like, let's buckle down and make sure this fire, this willpower that we have lasts for the long haul. We want to make long-term changes, long-term stability and legacies. We're gonna have to put in the effort bit by bit. Farms are not created in a day, right? Very nice, okay. Let's see some more information. We have solar zenith coming up for you. Pile number 1 also had this, I think, completely different readings, just a side note. We have stellar stream. Okay, this is star support. So your guides are nearby, and usually whenever we have Saturn, this indicates your ancestors are nearby. They're making sure that there is family healing, that there's generational growth, and that you are staying secure and stable. And if you have a next generation already, then this can indicate that you are taking care that they are feeling secure and stable as well. Perhaps your child is going through some sort of graduation at this time, and you're very proud of them. They are earning by themselves, and you're kind of upset that they're leaving the home, but you're also very excited for the new things that they are about to go through. So you might be praying, or you're like meditating, and you're manifesting that they have all of the support and the glory that they could possibly have. If the child thing does not resonate, you're praying for the same things for yourself, for your future growth and establishment. You're coming into focus, you're coming into the world in the public eye in some way. The world indicates that perhaps you have some public platform, or you are entering the professional world. So now you're making yourself public, your skills are public, so people can contact you from different places. Opportunities can come in from unexpected sources, and you might have this feeling of, yeah, but I'm comfortable where I am, right? There is that slight hesitation that I'm feeling. But at the same time, you do recognize that the opportunity is here, and you are excited by it. But, it's sort of like an internal questioning that is going on. Like, am I really happy over here, or am I just comfortable? Or it can be that, is it because I'm used to this? Is it my habits? And am I recognizing what this opportunity can do? Oh, you are not making any rash decisions though. Okay, you are still asking more questions. Let's say, you have a job in Canada. Let's say you have a job in Canada, but then you get some type of work offer from somewhere in Europe, from Germany, let's say. But you're not familiar with that type of working, their culture, the language, and so on. So then you have to find out a little bit more. Like, do you need to know the language? And if so, are they going to reimburse for the courses you take? Are you willing to take the language courses? Things of that nature, where the final details still need to be looked at. But if you take up that opportunity, there is a lot of growth. There is also a chance that you move up to a higher authority level, and just the in-between steps that you need to take is much shorter as compared to where you are right now. Solar Zenith also says that some sort of authority figure will make themselves known or are very influential for you at this time in life. They can offer you some type of advice here, or they could be the one who's paying you for your skills and your time and effort. So you might be looking at, is this the type of boss that I want to work for? Is this the type of company or organization that I want to be participating in? You're kind of questioning your place in the world here. All right, but you have plenty of guidance here. Lots of insights come in. It can also be that your family members are very helpful in this regard, especially the mother figure who offers you some sort of, useful advice here. Whenever I say mother figure, I don't necessarily mean your mother. It can be your father as well. It's just whoever you feel most emotionally connected with, okay? Who you can cry to, who you come to with your sorrows and also your happiness, right? So that figure. We have soul on fire. We have, what do you really want? Yeah, see that decision making is, yeah, okay. And we have, what does your soul say? Yeah, asking the deeper questions is something that comes about, especially when we have times of change in general. We really have to pause for a moment. And that's what eclipse energy is really good for. And the changes in general, transitions and changes, they're sort of the in-between state from like one level to the other, right? So that's when it becomes ultra important to pause for a moment as much as you can. Of course, you still have to take action, otherwise the transition is not going to happen. But if we don't pause for a moment, we don't know where we are and what is true to us. Because while it may be a wonderful opportunity, we might not yet be up for learning a completely new language at this time. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a failure for life now, right? So we go with what is authentic to us in that particular time in life, and we make decisions accordingly. So that's why it's very important, and I like that you're asking these questions to yourself here of where you are going, what is your fire, what are you feeling called to do at this time, what is your soul saying, what are your guides saying, and what are you really wanting out of life right now. All three questions are soul related and questioning related. This has never happened that I get all three of these cards in one reading. Usually I get like one of these and I'm already like, whoa, okay, that's very spiritual in nature. But it looks as though a lot of internal changes are coming through here as a result of external changes. But the things that you will find most profound would be the internal voice that you hear. The guidance that you get can be very loud and clear to you. It might be just a sudden idea that drops in your head and you're like, okay, maybe there is a middle path, maybe there's a workaround that I can figure out. I have not asked this question, but maybe if I ask this, I will get the right answer, right? Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Yeah. And Saturn is about that. Like you hit and miss a little bit, and that's why there's that slow and steadiness. But the things that don't work offer you a lot of useful information. So the mistakes that you make in an exam, let's say, or in something you're learning or seeing about the world, some observation that is not correct, that's okay. Because you learn that is not correct, or it does not fit in that particular type of scenario, so you're less likely to repeat that, and the success that you find is going to be more long-lasting and stable. And it looks like that's what you're going for, like a permanent upgrade, right? It's not like, let's try it out, let's be successful, and then drop back down again. I don't think you're going for that at all. So yes, it's very important that you look inward. You are doing that, some soul searching going on here. You might be asking, what is your purpose in life, and so on as well. One thing to be aware, there can be some, battle of wills as well with the Martian energy coming through here. You might want to go abroad, but your people are not asking, or your company is not, providing you the option to go abroad, or you might have some family responsibilities which are inhibiting you from experiencing just yourself. So then you have to question, is it worth it right now? Is there a different way I can approach this so that I'm going through my self-development, but I don't have to sacrifice on my other obligations that's going on here? Some creative problem solving needs to be done. So aggression is not going to solve the problem. We all know that. Frustrations are just asking, they're just cues and signals for redirection and creative problem solving. Okay, so take it as a positive. It's okay to sometimes get annoyed at stuff and anxious about things, but it's slow things down a little bit, because anxiety usually happens when we're trying to be fast, right? Let's get this done quickly. And when we can't figure something out in that pace, then we get anxious. But if we slow down, we can see things a little bit different. So yes, okay. Then we have Jupiter coming through, luck, growth, expansion, optimism, and understanding. Awesome. And this is also related with spirituality, religion, and your kind of meeting with different cultures, going abroad, learning foreign languages, foreign cultures as well. Also deals with higher education. If you're not yet finishing your higher education, you might be going for one, right? And that itself is a change in the way that you live. Perhaps the home responsibilities you have are changing because of that. And taking up this course also changes the way that you will show up in the world down the line. We have 11th house, which connects with diversity, humanitarianism, and also technology. It rules that epiphany and Uranian energy we were seeing. This is so that you can express yourself originally in a sea of everybody. right? In humanity, how are you helping? What is your contribution to humanity? Do you come up in the form of charity? Do you come through healing? Do you come through, some technological advancement, some innovative thinking? What is it that you contribute to the progress of humanity here? That's how you are seeing things. Also, it can indicate moving towards your hopes and aspirations, some ideals that you have for your life. When you see the future, you see it as very beautiful. What are those things? And how can you move in that direction here? Jupiter indicates that there is significant blessings coming through and significant steps you're making towards these bigger goals. And we have the third house as well, which talks about communication, also education, co-workers. Also, if you are studying, then this refers to your classmates. And this also indicates languages. Okay, so learning new languages is possible here so that you can connect with different groups of people and find more network or expand your network in some way that brings you a lot of fulfillment and expands your horizon in general. Some travel and commute can come in. I'm going to say air travel can come through. Some type of moodiness can come in here as well. Moon in Cancer can be a little bit moody. So taking care of your emotional body is very important. It's not just about the practicality of stuff. You might be very inclined to be quite practical, go-getting, and logical about things as well, but it's really important to involve your emotions too, because emotions are a way that the soul also speaks to us. And I don't mean emotional reactions, but the feelings that you get, the deeper down feeling, something intuitively does not feel right or feels right. Those are the ways that the soul speaks to you. So you might be learning to communicate with your soul as well on a deeper level. Meditation is going to help you out, of course, whenever you feel frustrated. So give it a shot if you have not already. What else can we see? Yes, your siblings. Your siblings, or someone that you know, older sibling, younger sibling, someone might be going off to college here, and they might be coming towards you. They might ask to share housing with you, and you have to be like, I don't know, we have like different lives here, so I don't know. Maybe temporarily you can stay with me, but then you got to find your own way here. Something of that sort. I'm mostly getting a lot of practical changes happening in your life, but you constantly have to think about what's my priority now. What do I think now? What do I, value at this moment? Where should I spend my energy and my resource? What am I trying to acquire in life? There is a constant questioning that's going on here over a period of time, which helps you fine-tune your path here. And I love the sideway direction in which these bees are moving, is because they can try out this path. It's not yet like, okay, what do you say? It's not a single directional focus. You're still in that explorative state, and that helps you understand your long-term goals much better. It can also indicate that you have some changes in your goals. Like, for example, you thought always that you would be continuously traveling in life, but now all of a sudden you just feel as though that's not you anymore, as though you've seen a lot. So you want to settle down a little bit, and that is like a huge change because you never thought about it. It's something new that comes up, but it feels right to you at this time. So if it feels right, don't resist it. Okay, let's see what else we get here for you, pile 4. What changes coming in for pile 4? We have Gemini, Venus, and the 8th house. Yep, constant questioning, meeting this shadow. So fears and insecurities can be coming up for evaluation here. If you're wanting a loan or other investments to pan out, it's likely that it will, but you might have to make some connections, find some more information before you make some promises. But all in all, it works out in a favorable manner for you. If you share your resources with someone else, then also it is beneficial. Your partner is earning more if you have a partner, and that can help you leave your job temporarily, if this is an example, of course, but this can allow you some lax time so you can go for your dreams, your higher education, or whatever it is that you're wanting to do here. It gives you a little bit more freedom. This can also indicate you're very interested in learning about esoteric topics such as astrology, tarot, psychology, even Reiki, tantric stuff. There's just so much in esotericism. You can also be going for alternative healing modalities, learning about those things. There are many things to do, but it's really calling out to you, so you're interested in expanding your knowledge about those things, even if it is for your own healing and for your family as well. Yes, the changes in your siblings' life is as well going through. It's a positive change, so you're very happy for them, you're very proud about it. But at the same time, I think you want some type of separation with them in terms of like living situation. Even if you live with them, it's like nearby is okay, temporarily is okay, but you would rather that they find their own space in the long run. Financial blessings coming in through other people. So again, if you have clients, then finances coming through them is blessed. And networking is going to help you out. Your sensual energy is very high, and you are attracting very intelligent people. And through your intellect, you can attract some financial blessings as well. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.